do shout, throw things, and storm out of meeting. For the most part, anger is more restrained, although it nevertheless may still be deeply felt. Recognizing the depth of feeling held by the other parties is an important skill. This side may simply be an increased intention, sharper voices, more interruptions, dismissive commands, and signs of exas- exasperation might all be indications that emotional pressure is building. While we may choose not to use emotion as a deliberate tactic, we are still likely to react emotionally to statements or even in a negotiation. If we get frustrated that the issue is not being resolved or what the other party is doing, such as making offers they know you can accept, then expressing how we feel can have a positive effect. The statements must be about the issue and should not overflow into statement about the other person. Compare the statement, "I don't see where this negotiation is heading. I thought I make it clear what I cannot accept that sort of offer," with "how can you keep putting that offer on the table? You know I'm going to reject it." The first relate to negotiation frustration with both the issue in the process. The second has transferred the frustration to the other negotiation and is more liable in invoke an emotional response from across the table. Negotiation in practice. Too emotional to listen. A business owner was looking to sell the business he had been running for more than 15 years. A business consultant engaged to help him through the sale process, found a number of potential purchasers, and separate meetings were arranged with each of them. The consultant endeavored to have the owners prepare for the meetings. However, once into the first meeting, the owner would not stop talking, even though he had firmly decided to sell. His emotional involvement in his business got in the way of the important task of finding out why the potential purchaser was interested in buying. The consultant ran the next meeting. But what if the other negotiators are emotional, speaking a lot, interrupting, and speaking loudly, quickly, and in an unstructured and exaggerated manner? Negotiators are emotional outbursts as a tactic because they feel deeply about an issue and get carried away because someone pushed a trigger or simply because it works for them. Some ways to deal with this are listed in box 2.3. Remember, though, that we might well be showing our emotion too. Female negotiators seem to react less to statements that might trigger an emotional response, typically anger or frustration, because they view negotiation in relationship terms, given that emotion is part of relationship. For male negotiators, emotion gets in the way of fixing the dispute, so they react to it more. Negotiation, still skills, tips, dealing with emotion. Don't let emotion get in the way of a good outcome. Treat people with respect. Treat yourself with respect. Reflect on what others are saying. Seek to manage the process, not the people. Box 2.3. Dealing with emotion in negotiation. Treat people with respect. Listen. Show you are trying to understand. Allow for exaggeration. Don't use brutals. Don't challenge people's statements. Treat yourself with respect. Don't get angry or frustrated. Retain your belief that you can find a good solution. Restate what you want to achieve, but don't press others to agree. State your own feeling too, but briefly. Reflect on what others are saying. Recognize the emotional component. Build on their statement about the substantive issues. Seek to manage the process. Talk about where the present dynamic is leading. Suggest alternative ways of interactions. Negotiating with difficult negotiators. Some negotiators are just difficult to deal with, as we have seen. We can attribute to them being the type of person they are, or we can attribute it to their situation, or perhaps they are being difficult because they think it will get them the best results. Table 2 by 2 lists some of the things negotiators do that are difficult to handle. We, of course, never do any of these things. They would too, but do things difficult negotiators do, being constantly critical of what is being said, particularly of minor points of detail or procedures, are always looking for the worst possible interpretation or implication, notwithstanding their protestation that they are only trying to explore all the possibilities, using personal put downs, moralizing, attributing blame, attempts that amateur psychology, the only reason you are taking such a hard line is to compensates not for not getting your own way in last week scheduling meeting, constantly interrupting or digressing, exaggerating, bringing in new issues or issues from the past which has been dealt with, having the only answer, asking so many questions that it's become like an interrogation, putting all that has been written about being accepted into practice in one goal. Applying time pressure and very busy. Can we draft this up quickly, playing the emotional or gender card? As always, good preparation can help, particularly if you have met with negotiator before and they proved to be difficult on that occasion. Before a negotiation, consider what might happen if the negotiation process does not go as well as it should. Being blamed does reduce the impact of the other negotiators' unwelcome behavior when it occurs. As part of this framing, it is important to develop a plan, such as when he starts using personal put-downs, then I will let him finish, but then restate my core point. We also need to consider whether there is anything we might have done to contribute to or provoke the behavior, although, as we have seen, we shouldn't internalize too much as we might feel we are to blame, also make an unnecessary concession, nor should we try to appeal the person by making a concession or feel that we must come up with a new solution to move the negotiation forward. It is likely that your new proposal will not be good enough for the other difficult negotiator. No matter how good it really is, it's more important to remain focused on the issue about which you are negotiating and to have a clear idea of the process you should be following. Does gender make a difference of negotiation? When considering the effect of gender on negotiation, we face the same problems as we do with personality. There are no definitive links between gender and negotiation behavior. It's more the case that the situation influences how negotiators approach their tasks, particularly in shaping their expectations and goals. As a simple but important example, if society conditions us to believe that it is acceptable for women to earn less than men, then women going for a job probably does not expect to earn as much, so just accepts what is offered at a job interview. Professional background matters too. Being a lawyer, for example, chefs once approach your negotiation more than one gender. Women do seem to place more emphasis on social relationships than men, but they are expected by society. Women will tend to negotiate in the way that is expected of them, that is generally to be nice rather than tough. But for the same reason, we toughen up and be more successful if they negotiating on behalf of others. Bells, Babcock, and McGree also found that gender differences lessons at the negotiation context became more structured. The test squeezed out the stereotypical expectation, but if the negotiation task involved concerns for others, for example, negotiating on their behalf, then the gender effect was triggered into good effect. The fact that women are more relieved than men when the first offer is accepted again suggests that women prefer a relationship rather than substantive outcome. They will be wary too of negotiating assertively because of anticipated backlash.